gift and show you a love that you can never forget. And when you look into my eyes, I hope you realize I am yours. I am yours.
Alright, cool. Well done. Hey. Yeah.
Ever and always.
Got the hard line away. That was a bit more fun.
Falling fast now, are you falling too? I can't imagine this life without you. When I look into your eyes, I see the rest of my life. I am yours. I am yours. Ever and always yours. Ever and always yours. Forever and always yours. I'm yours. When I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. Oh, there's so much they hold, and just like them old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How old is your soul? Well, I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, and when you're needing your space, I tend to some navigate.
Buon pomeriggio, good afternoon. Welcome everyone to Villa Vergine and to the marriage of TIANA and KRISHAN. Today we celebrate the best of what it means to be human. Today we celebrate love. You see, KRISHAN applied for a job as a backup with no interest of actually taking the position. TIANA had a friend who applied for the same job on her behalf. As fate would have it, they would share the same group interview where KRISHAN couldn't keep his eye off of her, and also share the same training course where they spend a whole week getting to know one another. Fate wasn't finished there. They also ended up being placed in the same store. By the time they began their first day, TIANA had firmly made up her mind about KRISHAN. She couldn't stand this boy. KRISHAN, as we know, is very determined and kept plugging away to get his girl. Well, 50 no's and 1 yes means yes. His luck was in when, after almost 7 months of subject chasing, TIANA agreed to go on a date with him. Their first date was a disaster, and they ended up spending it at KRISHA's house. He then treated her to what is still staple in their weekly dinner plans, Nando's. From there, the two have grown into the beautiful couple we see today. Krish still cannot keep his eyes off this beautiful girl, and TIANA still cannot stand this boy, so she says, but deep down loves him and can't live without him. KRISHAN, do you take the here present TIANA to be your wife?
I do.
TIANA, do you take the here present KRISHAN to be your husband?
I do.
After your positive answers, you are now officially married, and we will now proceed with the exchange of the ring and the sign of the wedding act.
Dear TIANA, I've been racking my brains for months to figure out what I'd say to you today. I didn't want to make vows to you that I couldn't keep. I wanted to ensure that they were truthful, not only to myself, but more importantly to you. The words then hit me around 6 weeks ago. It's not about vowing to be a singular person. Instead, I vowed to mold myself and shape myself to fit with what you need when you need it. I vow to be your therapist when you're feeling down and you need someone to talk to. I vow to be your photographer when you're all dressed up and you need that perfect Instagram photo. I vow to be a big pillow for you when you want to snuggle up on cold wintry nights. And I vow to be the Incredible Hulk whenever you need protection. I vow to always act in your best interest, to protect, love and care for you for the rest of eternity. I also vow that throughout the rest of time, I'll make mistakes and drive you crazy, but will always work harder to not make them again, and to be the best version of myself that I can be. We've been together over 6 years now, and I've not doubted for 1 second that this day would come. Today I stand up here, and I'm the luckiest man alive. I'm here with the singular person I love most in this world. My best friend, and the person I couldn't live without. You've taught me that life isn't about doing things you love, but about doing things with people you love. And if I can live my life with you by my side, I'll be living the life I love.
Sorry, I'm so bad at this. Right. Dear KRISHAN, I could do the whole from the very moment I first laid eyes on you, that you knew you were the one. But firstly, you know that that's not me. And secondly, you and I both know when we started dating, my plan was to break your heart and teach you a lesson. You were such a flirt and I hated it. So what started off as a game that you quite clearly won, has flourished into something I could only ever dream of as a child. I've literally watched you grow from a boy into the most amazing father and soon-to-be husband anyone could ever ask for. We're far from the perfect couple. In fact, I don't think there's such a thing, but I truly do believe we're perfect for each other. We have a spark, a fire, but even after 7 years, people look at us and question how two people could still be so passionate about one another. And no, sorry, and no, not in an affection kind of way, but the way we bounce off each other when we're together. We complement one another. You leave your dirty clothes. You leave your dirty clothes on the floor. I pick them up. You make the money. I spend it. Couldn't get any better than that, right? But it doesn't. It forever will. You are my best friend and my biggest supporter. You are the love of my life, and I stand here today, and vow to fiercely love you in all your forms, now and forever. I promise to give you all my words when needed and to share the silence when they are not. I promise to love you unconditionally. I never forget that this is a once-in-a-lifetime kind of love. Always knowing in the deepest part of my soul that no matter what challenges may carry us apart, we'll always find our way back to each other. And finally, I vow to never get complacent and to keep growing and forever changing so I can not only be the best mom I can be, but also the best wife.
And now pronounce you husband and wife. Congratulations.
Hey.
Do not crucify.
No!
Let's go out and be wild, do it while we can. Running free in the world, we got all weekend. Tear it up, tear it down, getting lost in the sound of our hearts beating. Take me here, take me now, getting lost in the crowd with you. Goes up, my heart goes down. We fall in love and we fall back out. I'll give you anything you want, anything you want, anything, anything. Just don't tell me no. You stop it still, then you make it rush. You're like a pill that I just can't trust. You tell me to stop, but I keep on going. Tell me to stop, but I keep on going. Tell me to stop, but I keep on going. Keep on, keep on, keep on. You'll never stop this thing. I will never let you go. Well, who am I to say? Maybe by now you should know. You got your somebody calling. You think you're somebody, don't you? I think you're scared of keeping somebody close. You'll never stop this thing. I will never let you go. Keep away from me if you can't withstand my love. Keep away from me if you think you must. Keep away from me if you can't withstand my love. Keep away from me if you think you must. You're the light, you're the night, you're the color of my blood. You're the cure, you're the pain, you're the only thing I wanna touch. Never knew that it could mean so much, so much. You're the fear, I don't care, 'cause I've never been so high. Follow me through the dark, let me take you past the satellites. You can see the world you brought to life, to life. So love me like you do, la la, love me like you do. Love me on the edge of paradise. Every inch of your skin is a holy grail I've gotta find.
Okay, good evening everyone. Thank you ever so much to come all the way from the UK, from other parts of Italy to come and see KRISHAN and TIANA on this special day. So, this is for TIANA and KRISHAN. Okay, I will not tell you how marriage is beautiful and full of love and daisies, as it would be, I'd be lying. And I'm sure you already noticed marriage is hard work, full of ups and downs, where compromises are a must and more often than ever, very much needed. TIANA, okay? And I will say to you is that often you will probably step on each other's toes, irritate each other, even drive each other mad so much that you might even start to question what on earth you have seen on each other's to begin with. Just remember that words spoken in a moment of anger are often not meant and regretted soon after the damage is done. Be slow to anger and always try and see the perspective of every situation from the other person's point of view. Yeah? Okay. You follow me? KRISHAN? Make sure you guys are always on the same page, as unity makes a couple stronger. Always be respectful and truthful to each other. Finally, to my baby, TIANA, I will say a few words which she always longed to hear from me, but I always failed to say. I'm proud of you, Nana. I'm proud of the lovely young woman you turned into, and even more so of the kind, loving, and sometimes strict mum you become to be. Your boys are living proof of it, and I mean all three of them. Not only the two, all three of them. Just a joke, KRISHAN, but I couldn't help it, sorry. I would like to finish this brief speech with a quote from Minion McLaughlin. The quote says, "A successful marriage requires falling in love many times, always with the same person." So you guys always remember that. Okay? I love you guys so much. You guys enjoy, sorry. That's thank you.
I'm gonna let the best man do his speech first, and then if I'm calm enough, I might give a speech after that. So give me 5 minutes. Thank you, everyone.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I know. Buonasera. For those who don't know me, my name's Mikey, as I just mentioned, and again, I am the best man. It's been an absolute honor and a lovely day already. A picturesque wedding setting, a beautiful bride, dozens of family and friends looking on, proud and emotional. It's been a real pleasure. So thank you, Krish. Now, as the best man, it's my duty to give you further insight into who the groom really is. And I would love to get into some of the stories about Krish, but I'm under strict instruction to not share anything inappropriate. So unfortunately, what that means is that I don't have very much material, so I'm not going to keep you very long. I've been stopped from creating a presentation, from showing pictures, and the original speech that I did write is available if anyone's interested, but I just can't perform it right now. So, let me touch on something that has actually already been touched on, which is their meeting, which has a lot to do with me. But first, let me tell you how I met Krish. So, I met Krish 20 or so years ago. No, actually, that's a lie, 15 or so years ago. So we were quite young. I was, say, this high. He was this high. And that's because he was a late bloomer. So he was actually half the man he was today, literally and figuratively. And it took until he was about 16 until he reached a normal human height. But what he lacked in height, he's always made up for in his ability to talk. A skill that he's carried through to adulthood, which I'm sure many of you are well aware of. And it's a trait which has been good in providing a long list of stories, which again, I can touch on after this speech. But the story that I did want to mention in this speech was mentioned in the ceremony. And it's when he and TIANA first met. Because believe it or not, I played Cupid. And when they did, I've written that totally wrong. But what I had meant to say was, since I played Cupid, I'm actually the real reason why we're all gathered here today. So anyway, after graduating university, Krish followed his dreams and he got a job trapping people into mobile phone contracts at Phone For You. And like something out of a fairy tale, it was there that he first laid eyes on TIANA, whilst on a training course about the wonderful world of pay-as-you-go SIM cards. Also mentioned in the ceremony was his pursuit of her. It was relentless. He gave me daily updates and I'd coach him on what to say. It actually got to a point where he was getting a little anxious because she was starting to lose interest. Being a good friend, I offered him reassurance, and I'd say things like, "It's not the end of the world if things don't work out, and there's plenty more fish in the sea, and it's not like you're going to marry her." There was also a point where the whole thing looked like it was going to fizzle out. So as a last resort, I actually spoke to TIANA myself. This is before I met her. So we spent about half an hour on the phone, me trying to convince her that KRISHAN was Mr. Right. You're welcome. 7 years later, here we are. TIANA has had a profound impact on his life. Blessed him with 2 handsome sons, pushed him to set up a business, helped him to be a better partner, father, and all-round human being. So, on that note, let's all raise a glass to the newlyweds, to a long, loving, and prosperous marriage. Cheers.
Hello, everyone. I'm Krish. I'm the groom. I got married a few hours ago. So, I was told about 2 days ago I need to give a groom speech. So bear with me because I'm also reading out of a sheet of paper. So, as most of you already can attest to, I'm not the funniest of people. So what I was thinking was, to get my mojo and to get me going, I want to have a signal today where I'm going to just clink my glass like that. And that means everyone has to laugh. Right? Thank you, Mum, for producing such an attractive, smart, funny, and kind woman, which perfectly brings me to the person I'm probably most grateful for today. I'm ever grateful to my bride, my wife, my better half, for being here and looking absolutely gorgeous. Can I just get a round of applause for how stunning she's looking today? And I'm pretty sure with age, her beauty will grow as she will as a person. Which actually reminds me that, unfortunately for her, this is probably me at my peak. Something by now which she's often reminded me of. See, TIANA always says to me, if you keep eating your fast foods and eating your takeaways, and not going to the gym, third person in our marriage, I'm going to be perfectly round and podgy by the time I'm 50, whilst she's looking young and trim. She says it to me quite smugly, until I remind her she's right. When I'm 50, I'll be a big, fat, bent out of shape kind of guy, and she'll be a youthful looking, gorgeous woman. So let me just get this right one more time. She's with a big, fat guy, and I'm with a gorgeous woman. I can't see how I'm losing here. I want to thank Google for telling me how to write a groom's wedding speech, specifically Hitch.com, if anyone wants to know. Benny and Mikey have already touched on how we first met 7 years and 1 day ago. But they both missed out a couple of important details, so I thought this is the best of time as any around all of our friends, family, loved ones, to just set the record straight. So my lovely bride is quick to point out to everyone, that at our group job interview, and I can't stress this enough, group job interview, with over 100 interviewees, she saw me checking her out, right? Now, I'm not going to deny it. I was definitely admiring her beauty from afar. She denies she thought anything of me. But can one person here please explain to me how, in a room full of 100 people, she noticed me checking her out if she wasn't checking me out as well? So much so, she instantly recognized me when we met outside the lift at the Travelodge in Fort Dunlop for our first day of training. I'm gonna get a clink over here. Everyone has come to associate that if you're seeing Krish, you're seeing TIANA. And if you're seeing TIANA, Krish will be tagging along. But it wasn't always that way. It took my love another 6 months and 10 days from our first meeting on the 28th of September 2012 before she finally mustered up the courage to ask me out. Me, being cool as a cucumber, replied with, "Sure, if you want." She cancelled the date instantly. Note to self, never play it cool around T. She loves to feel loved. I had to beg for a second chance, and from there we spent 6 years having a Shia, and having a Shiloh, and then buying another house, and then buying a bigger house, and setting up a company. Then one day late last year, I came home from a long day of grinding, kind of. And she had made the most amazing chicken curry I've ever eaten in my life. And that's when it just hit me. I like it, and I should put a ring on it. I need a bit more than that. Finally, I have one final thank you to make, and that is genuinely to every single person here. I speak for us both when I say we are eternally grateful for you all taking time out of your busy lives to be here today. Most of you have traveled a great deal to make the trip, and it means the world to us. We'll try our best to say thank you to you all individually. And if I could just make one final request, I'm pretty sure I've made it numerous times today. Can we all please eat and drink to our heart's content and just join us on the dance floor later on? Thank you all once again.
You want it down, you dyed it blonde, but your roots are brown. And you've asked me now 1,000 times what I prefer, 'cause you can't decide. The truth is, whatever you do, I know there'll be no change in my mind. 'Cause I want you for the worse and for the better. It's all you do, but you don't realize. Ooh, 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 I love you for you, babe. Ooh, 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 for all the things you can't change. You won't sit still, and you're always late. Talk through films, but I like the way you say what's on your mind, even when you try to stop yourself. Can't you tell that I want you for the worse and for the better? It's all you do, but you don't realize. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm freaky, kinda cocky, lot of foreplay. Hypnotize your shorty with a skin fade. Girl already know a nigga been great. Granny see my work rate, coming like a sensei. I'm freaky, kinda cocky, lot of foreplay. Hypnotize your shorty with a skin fade. Girl already know a nigga been great. Granny see my work rate, coming like a sensei. I like my girl freaky when she step up in the room. African man, I got the broom. Push it up on me, baby, let me see you work, work. Be no mama, house girl. That EJ go, jigga, she a fine girl. Sweet, sweet ones, that's my girl. Let me teach you a little something, make them toes curl. Now she locking off the niggas, tryna pop her. Hypnotizing, analyze. See me shine and see me grind. On my way, stay on top of my kind of way. Okay, I'm freaky, kinda cocky, lot of foreplay. Hypnotize your shorty with a skin fade. Girl already know a nigga been great. Granny see my work rate, coming like a sensei. I'm freaky, kinda cocky, lot of foreplay. Hypnotize your shorty with a skin fade. Girl already know a nigga been great. Granny see my work rate, coming like a sensei. Coming like a sensei. Meditate when a nigga press play. Yeah. Tryna go the whole way. C'est là, let's take it to the whole way. Nah. Quand je parle, couldn't tell me for no pop and pop it down. Mr. Love and Mr. Boss, you the bus down. Used to get the bus and now we stepping in the bus down, yeah. Hypnotizing, analyze. See me shine and see me grind. On my way, stay on top of my kind of way. Okay, I'm freaky, kinda cocky, lot of foreplay. Hypnotize your shorty with a skin fade. Girl already know a nigga been great. Granny see my work rate, coming like a sensei. I'm freaky, kinda cocky, lot of foreplay. Hypnotize your shorty with a skin fade. Girl already know a nigga been great. Granny see my work rate, coming like it's okay. I'm freaky, kinda cocky, lot of foreplay. Hypnotize your shorty with a skin fade. Girl already know a nigga been great. Granny see my work rate, coming like a sensei. I'm freaky, kinda cocky, lot of foreplay. Hypnotize your shorty with a skin fade. Girl already know a nigga been great. Granny see my work rate, coming like a sensei.